Rise and shine your light in opulent solution seekers. It's your girl, the spiritual activist, coming to you with another word, message, spot of wisdom, whatever you want to call it. So I'm constantly, trying to bring awareness to my mindset and, how it's been conditioned and what kind of wounds I carry, what kind of triggers I carry, all to kind of just make sure I'm being a responsible leader, activist, healer, you name it. Coach, life, spiritual coach, whatever. And so sometimes I really don't know if what I have knowing of is good for the collective sometimes, because I know there are certain perspectives out there to give people peace, but sometimes there's a fine line between giving someone peace and feeding them bullshit that's really just in efforts to make them put up with something that they know they really aren't happy with. And so I'm saying all that to say, I'm in kind of in between jobs. Not really. I'm just looking for something different and something that's more purposeful to me. And then you got to realize that people are going to... These companies are understanding. This pandemic made employers realize how much impact people wanting purpose and wanting a certain fulfillment out of their careers and jobs, that it made them scared. It's like, dang, I can't get nobody to work. I'm paying this amount of $20 an hour for hostess and nobody still want to do it. It's just like they're having to come correct, because that boss toxicity is deeply rooted in a lot of evilness, a lot of dominance, a lot of self-centeredness and selfishness, and just a lot of things that most bosses aren't willing to even address. But I'm making this video for y'all to realize when you're doing job hunting. I posted this before on my Instagram. My Instagram stories is a great place to kind of like start, and that's the.spiritual.activist. So on Instagram, yeah, check that out. But I write a lot of those divine downloads that I receive, on there. And I mentioned before, like, okay. Yeah, like when you're desperate and you're settling to survive or suppressing to survive, sometimes we got to do it. The job may not be the best, but we really need to make ends meet and this and that. And make sure when you're doing an interview, you don't say yes to something that you know you would not do for longer than a week. Honestly, like, just spare yourself wasting your time, your energy, going through the whole process, because deep down what you're willing to sacrifice. And I'm kind of dealing with that now. Like, I'm dealing with, a job that requires a lot of sacrifice for a role that I'm not, I don't feel purposeful or willing enough to do. I don't believe in like mandatory overtime and all of this other kind of stuff, and, traveling here and there. It's just certain things. I'm not going to go too deep into it because, for the sake of that company, but it's just, there's a lot of stuff I won't do. Also, be mindful of now these companies. They're going to get really, really tactful and have a lot of tricks up their sleeves to get people to get back into the job board and feel good again about working these positions. They're revamping their companies. They're hiring psychologists and marketing strategists to make their companies seem more welcoming to all races and all of these diversity and inclusion. Sorry if you hear any noise in the background. Y'all know I do a lot of my posts while I'm driving and whatnot, safely of course. But so just be mindful of how they describe the job position, title the job position, the same way you sell yourself and put your best foot forward. This is a two-way interview. Whether you know that power or not, they want you just as bad as you need them. You see what I'm saying? So, like, and I was looking at this job. It's literally like, what I've noticed is these jobs that are dealing with children a lot lately, the caretaking of children, because they don't want to bite the bullet, and this world doesn't want to pay caretakers and teachers and preschool teachers more money. These are becoming the hardest jobs to staff, which is sad, because these are the jobs that need the most assistance and nurturance, because it's literally our future. This is the future generations. But be mindful of how they label them, because you're basically like, they're trying to make you feel like you're really a glorified babysitter. Nothing against babysitting, but you're going in these jobs that are titled as newborn specialists, even some with doula, even some with peer counselor, peer mentor. Bro, you ain't finna get no counseling, no real job in psychology, just because you did a freaking job as a after school daycare teacher. I'm sorry, I'm just keeping it real with you. So this is where you come in being more intentional, especially for you youngsters. Youngsters out there, listen up. Get more intentional with the jobs you take. You don't have to get the first fast food job you see just to get some money in your pocket. You can get jobs that are good, and by the time you 20, you've got tenure, you've got seniority, you've probably gotten a couple of promotions, you got money. Like, you're probably already in the six figures, or like 60,000, whereas some people getting out of college and bachelor's degrees not even making that amount of money. You get what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm not saying 60,000 is rich, but for a 20-year-old, you can literally start building your future, and you can start investing and building onto that salary, because now you're being more intentional and not just picking the first job. And know your worth. Bro, these jobs, they're ridiculous. I literally saw like a receptionist or admin assistant for $9 an hour. I was like, $9 an hour? Bro, that's not even, like, I really want to say, like, nigga, like, bro, that's not even minimum wage. Are you freaking serious? You're expecting me to get an administrative job as an adult? You need to just straight be marketing this to middle schoolers, because a high school student can't even survive off of this. It's just insulting. Like, you need to hire your niece or cousin at that point, like, and just giving them some little money on the side for a tax write-off or something. I don't know. But that's a slap in the face for anybody who's trying to make a living. So you need to understand it. And the stuff that they're giving these teachers and teachers' aides and all, oh my God, it's just disgusting. Literally, it makes me want to throw up. But also, so be aware of that. Be aware of how these companies are trying to make you feel like the job has, I'm not saying it doesn't have purpose, because any job working with children has purpose, but just notice how people are trying to do things to not coddle, but manipulate and stroke your ego and psyche to get you to do stuff. And that leads into my other thing when it comes to envy. Now, envy is a tricky little weasel that to me makes you weak, vulnerable, and susceptible to manipulation. And I say that because I was just strolling, on social media, mindlessly roaming like we all do. And I was just looking at, because I love hair, right? I love hair care products. Natural hair has been a journey of mine. I create my own products and everything. For the longest, for years, before natural was like a, real popular thing. Over 10 years. And anywho, I was just looking at this girl and like her little wash and go, and I was like, oh my gosh. And she was just using this one product. And it was actually two back-to-back that I saw. Two different products, two different people. But just the feeling I had by watching this girl with this, I would say, not into number typing, but maybe 3C, 3B type hair. And I have like straight 4C hair, maybe 4B sometimes when it's fully moisturized and hydrated. But I just had hair envy and this deep-seated subconscious sadness and frustration, because I'm like, I was triggered by it. And it's like, because I wanted hair like that, I wished my hair could do that. And what I've started doing, I did this about a couple years ago, I stopped following most people who don't have hair types close or similar to mine, because there's no reason for me to continue to watch people and show how their hair reacts to a product when their hair is nowhere near the high maintenance of my hair. And so I have to get more realistic and start accepting and loving the hair I'm in. And that's why I say envy makes you weak or vulnerable, because I have this envy. If I wouldn't have been triggered, before I was triggered, I was kind of like, man, I want to get this product. But I'm not even realizing or being realistic, and I'm so busy looking at how good her hair looks that I'm not even thinking about how the product really will perform on my hair. And this is what marketers do a lot when it comes to sales. Yeah, I'm like the spiritual whistleblower. I try to teach you how people can manipulate your mind and your psyche to get you to do things and serve their purpose, not your own. How to take your own power back. And I would have sat up here and bought this with this expectation based on a deep need and desire for that image that I received, and I wouldn't have gotten it. I would have been disappointed, and that would have fueled me with self-hate and unacceptance of what the hair God gave me. To come to terms and fully accept yourself, you have to start being realistic and truly learn how to find things. That's why I follow people with 4C hair, because when I see the success that they have and the styles that they have and it's cute, it's like, okay, I can do that. I get inspiration. But when I follow someone who doesn't have my life at all, I don't get inspiration. I just get demotivated. Same thing with workout videos. I'm seeing all these whack freaking I'm sorry, these people 300, 400 pounds showing in 3 weeks, in 3 months I've lost 200 pounds. This vegan diet, this raw diet, this no exercise, no surgery, no, like, bro, no extra skin, no surgery, just a diet, no working out. Like, let's be realistic. Or I grew my hair 10 inches in 3 weeks. Sad thing is people are really believing this stuff. I just put this butter on my belly and this band and I lost all this weight. And it's because people have these deep-seated desires but not enough will to actually do the work. And sometimes you really just got to come to terms when it comes to work. And going back to what I was saying, as far as I try to follow people that inspire me, not demotivate me. So I want to see a person who's lost weight, realistically, reasonably so, who's had 1 or 2 kids, who's a little more shapely and curvy and has more of my body type, because I can look at them and say and really see myself in them. Not somebody who's been skinny all their life, not some 25-year-old who's never had a kid, who's been in track and volleyball or sports their whole high school life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to really find somebody who really did it like me, like from who started from where I'm starting, so I can truly see that it's possible to do it from where I'm starting. So these are just some things to keep y'all mindful of. And I had another series or episode on here about fear tactics and other marketing tactics that people use to try to screw with your mind to get you to do stuff. And I talked about fear and the other advertising techniques. But so these are a couple more I just want to add on. If I can find that series, I will add it to that one so it just kind of stays together. I try to group my series together as best as possible, but y'all know I get to going on a tangent and it kind of can get unorganized. But this is just real raw and uncut, wisdom. There was something else I wanted to highlight when it came to envy. I cannot remember it. But yeah, basically, guys, just be aware of your emotions, your conditioning, your wounds, your triggers, and just try to use discernment as best as possible. I do have an episode called How I Use Discernment. You can look at that. That may be the one where I talk about the tactics. I'm not sure. I haven't listened to it in a while. But yeah, guys, as always, keep God first. Peace, love, light, and healing energies. Be open to receiving them. I love you guys. Peace out.
Your innate, I'm starting to realize this, but your innate and natural gifts from God, they're enough to get you started, but they're not enough to make you successful in a certain way, because they're enough to make you successful, but in a way, it's not enough, because God is not going to help you through to the success. You're not going to get to the success without any work, without any dedication, without any sacrifice, without any investments. God gave you that gift and that passion, or those thoughts, or those downloads, to show you that you do have the capacity to see who you are, that you are one of His children, that you are chosen, that you didn't have to go to school and spend $1,000 to see this gift. This gift is innate within you. This gift was free, part of your abundance through God. But it doesn't stop there. And there are moments when you do have to invest. And that's when that separates you from all of the other people who have natural gifts, all of the other people who have been called in a certain way as well. So it's like, sometimes it gets discouraging, because we are in an oversaturated world within a lot of fields because everybody is waking up to their calling. You see what I'm saying? But what's going to start happening is the weeding out process, because a lot of people are going to give up. A lot of people are going to stop. You know what I mean? Like, how many times have you started college and then freshman year, the sophomore year, you don't see half the kids you saw in freshman year? It's sad and unfortunate, but it's just like everybody doesn't have the drive or will or mindset that allows them to keep on pushing through the adversities and obstacles that life may have. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I was just thinking about this, like everybody wants to be a motivational speaker, podcaster. Everyone's had this vision of seeing themselves in front of this big crowd, with the mass awakenings. We've all had, these dreams of seeing ourselves in our true light and all of our glory, shining bright. But what is going to get you that success is being able to put forth that effort, take those courses in marketing or investing or business planning or organizing and just sticking with it, building on top of your credentials, because you are in the physical world. You have to learn how to master both the physical and metaphysical world and bridge those two places. And that's honestly my whole goal within my spiritual practices within the Black community. I want to bridge the spiritual community with the community that has been abandoned. You know what I mean? Like the community that people think are less than or whatever it is. But on a different topic, back to what I was saying. So it's like, yeah, you have to be able to do the things that this society demands until you get in a space where you have enough physical power and prestige and respect that you can move things, make things happen. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of times a lot of celebrities will tell you how, yeah, they had to do a job they didn't like, or yeah, they had to take a position, or yeah, they had to kind of, switch up the game, code switch, or do whatever. That may not have been necessarily 100% true, authentic to themselves, but once they got to a place where they felt that people truly saw their value, and then they can talk that shit. You gotta sometimes play it smart and don't feel bad because everybody's out here telling you you're not being true to yourself, you're not being authentic. Nah, these people not paying your bills. You ain't selling your soul just because you switch up the way you talk or you dress more professional than you are. You may cover up your tattoos or whatever you may have to do. I'm sorry. I'm not finna sit up and beat people up for getting into the door. Because once you get into the door and you talk your shit, people can see, oh man, they got something. Then you can start being yourself, you know what I'm saying? And they gonna accept you for what it is because now they see your value and you have something that they need. And now you have let them know you hold something that they need. And then it becomes a business partnership. Then it becomes something that you both can profit from. Then there's this level of reciprocity. So yeah, start doing the little things that show that you're putting effort towards what you're doing. And understand that everything you go through in life, every phase, every season, every job, every experience is part of adding to that, what do you call it, repertoire or just your tool belt. You know what I mean? Like it's something that you're learning that in the end is going to be necessary. All those little things that you learned and took from these maybe irritating or hard experiences, they're going to pay off in some way, in some form. And I see that just now being more consciously aware of my life and experiences. A job that I once hated is now helping me be more resilient and prepared for this new, experiences that I may be venturing into. So these are all the things that, you have to take into account. But yeah, I just want to talk about that. I just kind of woke up out of a semi-dream. And it was totally unrelated to this thought, but this thought popped in my head after I got out the dream. Be weird stuff, bro. Like, my dream was literally McDonald's drive-through line was all jacked up. It was a bunch of TV screens and computer keyboards and wires all on the floor, and people was driving trying to get through to the line because the line was reversed. So people had to drive through all this, kind of going around all the screens and wires and stuff to get to the way the line was getting remodeled. It's kind of like they were trying to redo it like a Chick-fil-A drive-through in a sense. Well, no, they kind of already got those double drive-throughs, but I diverse. Now I'm just rambling. But I just like to share y'all like stuff like that because I feel like that is an aspect of who I am. Like, I'm goofy, I'm weird, I'm quirky. And it's a lot of people out there like that. Like, y'all need to understand, like, I'm not this so professional. And that also just reminds me of another download that I had that I was just thinking about. A lot of times we feel like the first impression, the best impression, being professional, putting our best foot forward has an aspect, and this is what contradicts what I just said in a sense, means being unauthentic or just like that's this fear of like not being accepted. Like, that's what people are looking for. Now, like I said, sometimes you do have to, do certain things to get in the door, in certain rooms, in certain environments, to get to certain levels. But also, sometimes it's the opposite. And you need to be more of your authentic self, because that's what's really going to get you in the door. You may be walking into a room with a bunch of people who is on this assembly line of boringness, of corporate mindset, of tailored suits, and just cookie cutterness. And when you walk in there in your true authenticity unapologetically, then you kind of waking them up. You kind of bringing light into a room full of darkness. You know what I'm saying? And so you know, you may be the trainer of another person, and you're trying to be this one way, and it's gonna be like, man, this person, man, this ain't for me. But then when you start being yourself and you being goofy, you making jokes and maybe even inappropriate ones, that's when that person gonna like, okay, they really are down to earth. They're more relatable. Mm-hmm. The more you build their relatability, the more people love that. Like, you help bring their guards down. You help them relax. Because holding up that professionalism, whatever that is, this idea of perfectionism that we think exists, is annoying sometimes. A lot of people don't like to do that. Some people do, but majority of people don't want to keep the mask on all the time. Because think about it. When they go home or when they're with their real friends, they're not acting like they're 24/7. And so you are showing them that, hey, yes, we can take care of our business, but we can be ourselves too. And that makes it such less stressful. So when you just have popped the balloon and let the air out, you just taking that straw off the camelback, you have alleviated that pressure in those pipes. Like, now it's just like smooth sailing, and your spirit can be uplifted. You can be on that high vibrational energy because you're in your most authentic self. And so these are things that I just kind of like try to show you that everything is taken with a grain of salt, because that first message was kind of contradicting of this second message that I just forgot about. But it's different circumstances for different things. And that's what you have to learn how to decipher, instead of like dissecting what everyone says and to prove it wrong. Just take what you think you need to take out of it, or think about it from different circumstances need different results. You know what I'm saying? And so things need to change. The only constant is change. Everything isn't an end all be all definitive statement, must have or general thing that you can put across everybody. I was literally looking at this post my friend sent me, and she knows why she sent it to me, because she's like, what do you think about it? And I was like, it was this woman saying oils are not good for your hair or for curly hair or whatever. And I'm like, and this is not the first black person who's come to me and said, like, what you think about this? Everybody know I love hair, I love making my own products and all this stuff. And I said, bro, people saying all this stuff about our hair, can't take oil and do this and do that. I say, bro, how long have we been putting grease in our head? No, honestly, how long have black people been putting grease in our head? Grease is, I don't know what they say it is, petroleum, whatever it is. How long do our black kids have we growing? What we put in their hair? We put two things in their hair, grease and water, and their hair grow down their back. Oil and water, or whatever. Oil and detangler spray, or some moisturizer, whatever it is, pink moisturizer. We put all the cheapest, probably crappiest products in our hair, and it still grew. Half the time, it's not necessarily about what you put on it. It's about what's going on inside. These kids are innocent. They don't have a lot of stress. They don't have a lot of, whatever it is. They're anointed. They're called. They know in their power, most of them. That's why they hair growing. It don't matter what you put on it. And the thing is, it's like, if we could put grease on our hair and it still grows, then oil? Really? And I've had a couple chemists that says, our hair actually absorbs oil easier than water. And so there's a lot of things that are contradicting, because then there's also the idea that, if you wash your hair too much or too long without any pre-pooing, then it can absorb too much water and you can go through these other things. But you see how there's so much information. We're in the age of information, and it can be overwhelming and stress you out. So that's why when I get to that point and of hearing just so much stuff, I just go with the things that quiet my mind and give me peace, which is stick to the basics. If it ain't broke, don't go searching to fix it. If whatever is working for your hair is working, don't let people's perspective put something in your mindset that makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. Because that's when the term ignorant is bliss comes into fruition. Like, if you come in and allow somebody to tell you what you're doing is wrong and does not work, guess what's going to happen? Your mind is going to believe it, even if you don't want it to. So that's why you have to filter yourself and continue to stay faithful in what your own individual free mind has to offer. Because when you walk around too open-minded, then it allows everybody's energy and mindsets and perspectives to be put onto you. All of their tactics and methods and manipulation to be put onto you. So that's why you have to be able to discern and only able to allow things to happen with you. When you start to feel your mind shifting in a way you don't want to, you got to figure out a way to come back. Man, yeah, okay, they say, oh, don't absorb my hair. All right, bro, is my hair thriving? What else has changed? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm stressed. Maybe I'm going through a different phase in my life. Maybe I'm malnourished. Maybe I need some vitamins. Maybe I need to drink more water. It could be a whole lot of factors. But at the end of the day, just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, if it is broke, then that's when you can go and seek professional help and let the dermatologist and trichologist look at your hair, whatever, But yeah, guys, as always, keep God first. Peace, love, light, and healing energies. Be open to receiving them. Love you all. Peace out.